Good morning on this lovely, cool fall day. Today is the big day of the first ever Appalachian Mountain Rider meet and greet. We're heading over to Rock Run. We got Seth coming along. You remember Seth.
Good save, buddy. Boy, there's a big hole there.
And Eileen's going along too. Looks like they're getting all loaded up. Eileen even put her glitter on. She had a little piece of glitter like right there.
Yep.
You can still see it. But anyway, so we're gonna head up here. It's supposed to be rainy today. It's not supposed to get out of the 40s today. So we're gonna dress warm, but at least we won't have to worry about the dust. And I'm sure we'll be able to find lots of mud to play in. Huh. You just wave at everyone. This one's a little deeper. Puddles, puddles everywhere. Rock, boing, boing. So, take one quick look at these nice, clean guys, because in about an hour and a half or so, they're probably gonna start getting muddy. There's the current temperature for the morning. Be a fun day. And it's raining already again. So I decided to have the meet and greet at Rock Run because being only 40 minutes away from my house, it is the closest trail system to where I live, and I had never been there. Even with it that close, I figured, well, now's a good time to check out the facilities. We're finally getting here at Rock Run and it's going to start raining harder. Gates are open. Well, we're here. The weather hasn't improved any. This is a little cold and windy. I think it's definitely going to be a cover all day. Pretty nice check-in facility here. We're going to check in, get our passes, and find a spot to unload. I just love how the 500 will fit in the back of a pickup truck, so you don't have to carry a big long trailer or anything with you if you want to take it anywhere. Even short beds, I mean, my truck's got a full 8-foot bed, but even the shorter beds you can still fit the P5 into with a little bit of ingenuity or some tailgate supports. Yeah, you're good. So I had a rough idea of how many people were going to be here today for the meet and greet. There were 6 said that they were for sure coming. 180 some said that they were planning on coming, or at least had an interest on coming. Whether they were going to make it or not, I didn't expect that many to come. But the one group did get a hold of me and said that they did not get their machines back in time, so they weren't able to make it. And I know the one group, some guys that came from Erie, was running a little bit behind, wasn't going to be there till after 11. But we headed out with the first group here. Eric, who was sporting a Can-Am 4-wheeler, and Philip, who was in a brand spanking new Maverick Sport, and just didn't have, you know, any idea where we were going. We had a map. We really didn't want to follow it that closely. We were just going to pick a trail and ride, and that's what we did here for most of the morning. Just picked the trail and seen where it went. Oh, there's a nice view. And you will see here as we go on, you pay attention to the trails. This park is called Rock Run Recreation for a reason. I mean, these trails, even the long straight stretch open roads, are just nothing but rock. But that being said, none of the trails were overly difficult. And one thing I will say about Rock Run, if you have little ones, younger riders that are just getting into the sport, that, you know, they have the smaller youth model quads, if you're handy the Patton, PA area and are handy Rock Run, then this is definitely a place to bring them. The trails are nice. It'd be perfectly suited for younger riders to get some experience on, do some training with them, and build up their confidence for then technical trails later on. And as predicted, it didn't take us very long riding that day to find an abundance of water and mud holes on the trail. A day like today is a day you don't really want to splash a whole lot. Woo! A little bit of water coming in. This looks fun. The Rock Run has 140 miles of trail, which is a pretty good size. However, it's not spread out over a large area of land. So a lot of the trails are windy, switchback type trails like this, like you see here, you know, winds through the trees and stuff, which is the trails I highly enjoy. I enjoy that more than, say, you know, flat, straight, perfectly groomed trails where you can go fast. I prefer the more windy, through the woods, scenic kind of trails. Out. Oh no, we're not gonna make a turn. Trim some briars back. So eventually those trails we were on brought us to this more open area where you'll see there's a couple little obstacles, I guess you could call them, that we could play for a little bit. So we stopped for a minute to have some fun. I was really wanting to be the first one to go over this pile of dirt, but Philip beat me to it in his Can-Am. Okay. But I wasn't about to let no Can-Am outdo me. And of course Mighty Mouse just laughed at this poor excuse of a hill. I was really hopeful to be able to get some good air off of this hill, but it really didn't amount to a whole lot. Hoping for a little bit more air time on that than what we got, but oh well. Still fun. Yeah. That's a nice view. And with that, it was time to move on and see what else we could find. So those trails you had just seen were all classed as green trails. So after having our fill of those already, we decided to step up our game a little bit and look for some blue and black trails. So that's what we set out to do, hit some harder trails. And as I mentioned before, even their blue and black trails are not overly difficult. So again, Rock Run is just a perfect place if you have young ones and want them to get some training, get some experience, then definitely bring them here. Some good time to be had. And this little section of trail that we were on here eventually led to the Rhino Trail, which I must say, she was definitely full of some water. Almost makes you feel like you're riding a creek, as much water as there is. This looks promising. Oh, now which way? Sure, that's it. Right in the middle. Woo! Jesus. As long as I don't get up to my airbox, I'll be alright. Here comes Seth through. Little Mighty Mouse's snorkel does, so it doesn't matter for it. That one was probably the deepest so far.
I think the one before it was. Yeah, it's up over my feet.
Ah, baby.
Well, look at this camera. I thought I might be able to see better pictures.
Oh. So which way do we need to go?
A long road. You go
This way. Alright. So after we were done playing in the water, we decided to head back to where we unloaded to see if the other group had made it in yet. So we got on this one connection trail. That's one of the main trails through pretty much the whole park. However, my navigator here beside me was not navigating as she should. And we ended up missing the turn we should have taken. And well, I'll just let you watch and we'll see what happens. And the bad part is, this group we run onto here was kind of in the same boat we were. They were trying to get back on the main trail, and they knew they were lost. They were looking at their maps, but we figured, well, if we're not where we should be, well, we'll just keep going and see where it comes out. Well, we didn't get as far as we were hoping. Now we come up here to a pretty good sized puddle behind us, and you will see me pause here and question how deep it is, but I figured, well, the puddles we had been through so far was nothing. It was just water, it wasn't that deep. And this one wasn't bad until right there. And then that corner sunk, and that was all that she wrote. We couldn't get forward anymore. But luckily we didn't have to use the winch. I was able to put her in reverse and just back her right on out. And I will say, if I had some better tires, I think I probably could have got through that no problem. So look for some upgraded tires here to be put on the X4 in the near future. And even with these tires, I was all set to try to go through it again. I figured I almost made it through. I think with a little speed, I could have made it the whole way. But I kind of got outvoted. Nobody else really wanted to get wet and wanted to get cold. And I will say, after doing this and being then wet for the rest of the day, I did get pretty chilly. So it was probably a smart decision on their part to vote against me and decide to turn around and head back the other way that we had come. I hope you guys enjoyed part 1 here of the first ever Appalachian Mountain Riders meet and greet. I appreciate you guys stopping by, checking out my channel. If this is the first time you've been here and you enjoy the content I put out, enjoyed this video, then make sure you hit that thumbs up. And don't forget to click subscribe before you leave, and then hit that notification bell so you don't miss when I upload part 2. Because coming up in part 2, we get into a lot more technical terrain. We get in some good rocky areas. We even get to check out a couple old mine entrances and play around. And I also take Mighty Mouse on a little hill climbing adventure. So don't miss out by clicking away before you click that subscribe button. Again, thanks for joining me. Make sure you guys comment below what your favorite trail system to ride is. And until the next one, keep on riding. Appalachian Mountain Riders is brought to you in part by the following. The Honda Side-by-Side Club, because who knows the machines better than the owners that use them every day. Walker Evans Racing. When the path requires more than just ordinary, head on over to walkerevansracing.com. Torque Locker from Torque Masters Industries. When you want to explore the unexplored, head on over to torquemasters.com. And by my gracious supporters on Patreon.